welcome to another Tune of the Month. Happy November! Hope your fall is going well. It recently came to my attention that it has been about 1,000,000 years, give or take 1,000,000 years, since we have done a strathspey here on Tune of the Month. Yes, how on earth did that happen? Well, because there are a lot of good tunes out there to learn, that's how that happened. But nonetheless, it's been way too long since we've done a strathspey, so today we will do a strathspey. The past ones of these that we've done on Tune of the Month have all been Scottish. So I thought today, why not? Let's do a Cape Breton strathspey. These are the only two styles of music in the world that have strathspeys. We may as well represent both. This is one of my very favorite Cape Breton strathspeys, so much so that I included it on my album Flight. It's on the track called Off to the Cape. And it's called, it's great, it's by the great Charles Grant, and it's called Glen Rinnes. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. R-I-N-N-E''S, the strathspey belonging to Glen Rinnes. Rin? I don't know. If you do know, feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm always learning nomenclature things from you guys, things that are not paid attention to in jam sessions, but I like to know. So here's the tune! If you're here listening, hopefully that got you bouncing and dancing and on your way. And if you're ready to fiddle, I know you're ready to fiddle. Why else would you have come to Tune of the Month, unless you're just listening? So let's dive into this tune. It seems like today's a great excuse to talk about the difference between Scottish and Cape Breton strathspeys. Because it is true, this is a Scottish form of tune. It originated in the valley by the River Spey. Once upon a time, a bunch of Scots got in a boat, sailed more or less in a straight line across the ocean. Some of them hit Cape Breton Island, which developed into its own distinctive style, but maintains roots very close to Scottish music, which is why these are the only two guys with the strathspey. If you checked out previous Tune of the Month strathspey videos, as hopefully you did to get the basics of this tune, you'll notice that they both have that rhythm, the Scottish snap. However, where the Scottish strathspey is a graceful dance, more in two, a little slower, a little more graceful. Cape Breton strathspeys are danced with hard shoes in a step fashion and much more driving. They're in four. And actually they tend to accelerate a little bit rather than pulling back like the Scottish ones do. So that's a major difference in feel, and we're gonna today drive it like the Cape Bretoners. So here we are in A minor. I'll play it a little slowly. So I took the left hand ornaments out, but you probably notice that it's pretty simple, and it has, as with so many of these Tune of the Month tunes, which is to say tunes, part 1, part 2, part 1, ending. Did you catch it already? Here's part 1. It's so short. This is, by the way, called a single tune. It's only 4 bars long rather than 8 bars long. Usually we do 8 bars repeated. This is 4 bars repeated. It was so short I just put a tiny little pause in between each part. Part 1. Part 2. Did you catch that bumper slur on the pickups? 4/16 notes. That's very common to the strathspey. There's another big difference between Scottish and Cape Breton. In Cape Breton, when you have 4/16 notes, the decoration, the cut, it's gonna be all separate bows. And you want to make sure you're really in the string, and it will say the word scrubby-dubby in the string. There's a lot of grit in the Cape Breton sound, so don't be afraid to really dig in there and make every note speak. Don't press too hard, that'll be ugly, but really make sure it speaks. In Scottish, we wouldn't play those 4/16 notes separate. We're looking for more grace and sparkle and class. And so you would play them big, little, or all slur, if you wanted to do this more Scottish. Play around with it on your own time. Right now, we're in Cape Breton mode. Here's the whole A section, and I'm going to put in the left hand grace notes now that you've got the tune and the bowings for the 16ths. There are no other slurs except for buffer. The ornaments I'm going to use mostly are taps, right? Did you hear them? It's really every opportunity you have to put one in. That's a good one because you're sitting on that E. I can get all three of those in. Cool. When I go fast, I usually only speak one of those, but all three are up for grabs. Give it a try. Did you catch that at the bottom? That's my double grace, where you flap, you do a hammer-on and then a flap. If you don't know how to do that combo grace, I did it in a previous Tune of the Month. You can go check it out there. That's the A section. You play it through twice, 2 A's, 4 bars plus 4 bars. Now, the B section is built double. It's built all 8 bars. You will not repeat it in your brain. It's built into it. Okay? So you'll feel this a little bit like a part 1, part 2, part 1 ending. You could also feel it like a short form part 1 first ending, part 1 second ending. However you want to think about it. It ends up being 8 bars. All grace notes in the left hand are out. Check out the bowing. That's essentially part 1. That's the part that's going to come back. I start with an A minor. A, down the A minor. Now G. Did you catch that's all G major? And just like the E section, it's all separate bow except for you're going to buffer the triplet pickup into the G chord. Watch one more time. A minor, slur buffer, G. Now here's what you can think of as either the turnaround part 2 or as the first ending. Did you catch that? It starts just like part 1. Unbowed 16th notes. Alright, now you're halfway through. Go back like the beginning of the B part. A minor, buffer, G. Now, here's what you would think of as either the grand ending or the second ending, and it's a little scale of broken thirds. Actually, the easiest part of the whole tune, and it gives it this 1, 2, 3, 4, yadam, da da da. It's the drive that takes you back to the A section. I'll do it again. One pickup. One more time. Got it? Let's put some left hand ornaments in. Basically, the rule is flap every chance you get. And because it's a Cape Breton tune, the wiggle is also up for grabs. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, check the the Cape Breton reel that we did a while back, the Wing Commander. I'll talk all about the wiggle. Ornaments, right? And if you're not sure exactly what they are, you can't hear the exact notes, you know they're probably a flap, a double grace with the note from below, unless you heard a distinctive pitchy warble, in which case it's a wiggle. The only place I don't use grace notes is on that grand ending. And that's because it's so powerful. I don't want to muck it up with anything. I want it to drive pure all the way up. So I leave that one alone. It makes it way more effective. I'll tell you where I'm putting these things in. Flap. 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 16th note. Flap. That's a double flap there. Because I have those two A's. I'll do one on the down bow, one on the up bow. Oh, now you know everything for the second half of the section. Flap. Flap. Nothing. Flap. Double flap. And there's the whole tune. Wow, it's simple when you break it down, isn't it? To finish, I'll just play through the whole tune once, a little bit slowly, but with all the grace notes in so you can hear the pieces put together. Play along. If you want to play around with it some more, you can turn off the tape and practice. You can rewind the tape and play certain parts over and over to catch anything you need. And as usual, if you would like to see sheet music for this and any future tunes of the month, I send those out as a special treat for people who are subscribed to my email newsletter. And if that's not you yet and you would like it to be you, you can go to my website, www.mariblack.com, and sign up for the newsletter. And that means from now on, every month you'll get a quick hello email from me that will include the sheet music for whatever tune we've done that month. All the bowings and ornaments and things that we talk about will be marked in it, so you can follow along with your eyes if you have not already thoroughly satisfied yourself with your ears, which I'm sure you have. All right, thanks for stopping by, everybody. I will see you next month with more tunes. Have fun!